There's a moment that every entrepreneur faces. Everyone around them is going one way, but something inside you whispers, go the other way. But then the doubt creeps in, and you ask yourself, what if they know something I don't? What if I miss out? What if I'm wrong? Now, a lot of entrepreneurs jump on every trend. They pivot at the first sign of resistance and they constantly second guess their decisions. And that might be you, but deep down, you know that you have this vision and something in you knows that it will work. But when you think about it, taking that path not traveled, the path that nobody else is walking on, your brain starts to come up with a million very logical reasons why you should just keep doing what everybody else is doing. Now, here's what I learned after 2 decades in business. The entrepreneurs who create real, lasting impact, they aren't the ones who follow the crowd. They're the ones who are willing to stand alone. They're willing to carve a path that other people don't see. Today, I'm going to talk about what it actually takes to be a trailblazer. Not that romanticized version, but the real, messy, and powerful truth. And why the willingness to be different and stand alone could be your greatest business asset. When I talk about being the wolf, it is about being the truth of who you are. But I want to talk to you about the misnomer of the lone wolf, because the lone wolf is really a trailblazer. It's not the one who is ostracized, it is the one who chose to go a different path. You see, when the pack doesn't have enough food, enough resources, a viable mate, the things that a wolf needs, there may be one who is willing to leave and walk their own path so that they can start their own pack. This is the lone wolf. It's not the one who was kicked out. It was the one who chose to carve their own path, to make their own pack. And so you, as a trailblazer, as an entrepreneur, as somebody who is desiring to be your fullest self, your truest self, you must be willing to walk away from the things that are trying to keep you stuck in the path of what everybody else is doing. In 2010, I came home to San Francisco from New York. And I knew it was one of those pivotal moments where I knew that I would never do what I was meant to do if I kept living the life that I had been living. I mean, my life was fine. I had friends. I was doing fun things. I was making plenty of money. But I did everything for everyone. My photography business was on the back burner. I put on multiple events a year. And my main focus in doing that was to create a fun event where everybody had a good time. But it was really about everybody. It wasn't about me and what I wanted. But I had been doing nothing to actually live out my dreams, to make room for me. When I came back from New York, I began to systematically tear down every aspect of my life. I stopped doing those events. I did them all one last time, and I committed to doing something different. Now, I only had a whisper of where I was going, a feeling that floated by on the wind from time to time. And I got distracted along the way, but here I am, 15 years later, after shaking off those fears and the attachments that kept me tied to a life that was never really mine. And here I am ready finally to carve the path that I was meant to carve, to walk the path that nobody else has walked. So, what did it take? You hear people talk about, especially in the entrepreneur space, mindset is everything, and it is. But it's not just a willing to grow and learn new things. It's not just resilience and tenacity and thinking you can do it, like that confidence. It's not just that, it's deeper. It's the ability to shut down the noise in your head and stop second guessing. To be a trailblazer, you have to commit. You have to make your decisions and see them through. Not because you have all the answers, because you don't yet, but because you trust yourself to figure it out and you're willing to play the long game, even when everybody you love says you're crazy or they walk away. Your ability to trust that you know what you know and stick to your vision. You're not swayed by the quick wins or the latest trends or what other people are saying or doing. You can hold true to yourself and your vision under all circumstances. You have the ultimate self trust. And again, this doesn't mean you have all the answers, but it means that you trust that you'll find a way no matter what. And those bullshit things that float through people's heads. What if I'm delusional? I'm not capable. I can't do this. I'm not good enough. Who do I think I am? Those voices do not play a role in your life. When you're a trailblazer, you do what it takes to shut those voices down. And yes, it is possible. To be a true innovator, trailblazer, and change maker, you must have a big success zone. Your success zone, it is the amount of success you can hold without stress or self-sabotage. It's the zone where you can be 100% yourself around all people in every circumstance. To trailblaze, you must have access to all of you. You must be able to be the wolf. Even if you lose everything, you must believe that it's just making room for what you want. And you must have faith in yourself and the concept that everything is somehow working for you must become truth to you. Otherwise, you'll buckle and you'll give up the vision. David Meltzer, an entrepreneur who I admire a lot, says, things happen slowly and then all of a sudden. Meaning if something is set to take, say, 20 years, then at 18 years, you might only be at 25%. At 19 years, you might only have reached 50%, even if you're lucky. And then all of a sudden, you'll get it all. But most people give up long before that point. They think that they get to 10 years and they should be halfway there. But that's not the way it works. When you're a trailblazer, an innovator, a change maker, you must understand that things happen slowly and then all of a sudden. In the book Fountainhead by Ayn Rand, if you have not read it, read it. It's a great story, but it really outlines the path of what it takes to be a trailblazer, an innovator. Now, Howard Rourke is a character in that book, and he is a true trailblazer. He does not compromise his vision under any circumstances. He is 100% his own man. He is 100% the wolf, and he endures loss and ridicule and rejection. And you must be able to endure those things and not let it sway you from your path. But there is this moment in this book where the character Gail Wynand, I don't know how to say it, but Gail has this opportunity to become the wolf, to become a true trailblazer. And he has spoken out against something that was very unpopular. And he's spoken up for something he truly believed in, but the masses don't like. And this put him at risk for losing everything. He had to be willing to let it all fall away. And if he was willing to do that, he would have been free like Howard Rourke. You see, the path of the trailblazer, the path of the wolf gives you freedom. And I'll tell you how in just a moment. But this character, Gale, winning, he couldn't do it. He was not willing to let everything he had built, trying to be who he should be, leaning into the whims and the desires of everybody else. He was not willing to let it all fall away. At the last minute, he buckled. He just couldn't do it. Now, you can be a trailblazer when your success zone is big, when you're being the wolf. Other people's opinions don't derail you. You can hear that feedback. You can risk that loss without it shaking the foundation of who you are, because your foundation is not the things that you have. It is who you are. And that character, Gale, he couldn't do it. He couldn't lose the foundation of the things he had, because the foundation of who he was not strong enough. Now, as I said before, there is freedom in being the lone wolf and being the trailblazer. And even though it may seem even though it may seem difficult from the outside looking in, it is way easier because you only have one voice to listen to. And that voice is yours. Your brain doesn't have to constantly track for how you should be. And this gives you the ability to put all of your energy into what you're trying to create and do in the world. Now, most people are spending half of their brain power trying to fit in, trying to belong, trying to make sure they look good, look perfect, and nobody sees those things deep inside that they don't like about themselves. And this limits what they can create. It limits their power. It limits their capability and their effectiveness. Now, being the wolf is the ultimate integrity with yourself. So here's a few more of the things that you need to understand about being a trailblazer. To trailblaze, you don't just pivot when there's resistance. You're willing to sit with the discomfort and explore whether it's your fear or you need to adjust. But you have to be able to sit with that discomfort. You're comfortable being seen exactly as you are. You don't hide from your failures or your successes. You remember that dream where you're naked on the stage or in front of the classroom and everybody's watching? That stress, that fear, that feeling like the whole world is about to come crashing down. When you are a trailblazer, when you're being the wolf, that dream is no longer a nightmare. It feels no different than just sitting on your bed at home alone. To be a trailblazer, you understand that you must not compromise your vision to make other people comfortable. You must hold on to the pieces that are most important, and you must not compromise, because when you do that, you compromise the integrity of your creation. Now, it's okay to be inspired and choose to create even bigger and bolder than you were going to before, but you must not compromise the integrity of your creation to make other people happy or comfortable. Remember, being the wolf is the ultimate integrity with self. Being the trailblazer or the lone wolf is the ultimate integrity to your vision. Now, I know it's not always easy. When I ran my photography business, my success zone was very small. My ability to be the wolf was almost non existent. Now, I couldn't network. I was terrified of the real me being seen. I couldn't finish anything unless it was ultimately for somebody else. I made short term decisions and I couldn't play the long game. And because I had a safety net job, I never had to do the work to expand my success zone. I just never expanded my business. Sure, it was in the black, but it was never growing. A couple of years into my coaching business, I wanted to cut my job, my safety net job loose. And my astrologer, who I used to look to for what I should do and why I should do it. This is very anti be the wolf, by the way. My astrologer said, no way. The forecast for the economy is terrible. Your chart says it will be hard. She said, don't do it. Wait 3 years. But here's the thing about astrology. And let's just say, for the sake of argument, that astrology is totally accurate. Just because there's a challenge, just because something is hard, there's bad aspects, and it doesn't look good on your chart, doesn't mean it's bad. So I chose to not listen to my astrologer because I knew this is what I needed to do. And there was nobody outside, even with all the future telling aspects at their fingertips. I knew that it was what was right for me. There's nobody that could tell me what was right for me. And when you learn to trust yourself, nobody else's opinion matters other than yours. Now, you can look to other people's opinion for information and to learn things, but ultimately you must make your own decision. You do not make your decision because your astrologer said it's a good idea. They are not inside of you. They do not know who you are. They do not know who you are meant to be. All they are doing is interpreting some points on a map that may or may not be accurate. So I knew deep inside that I needed to let go of the safety net job. So I took the leap and I went all in because I knew I'd never do what it took to make the business grow and make money unless I had no choice. I had 10 plus years in a photography business where I never did what it took, even though it was my passion and what I loved, because I held on to that safety net job. I was not willing to walk the path alone. I was not willing to trailblaze the path I knew in my heart I was called to. Now, this was a continuation of that journey that started in 2010 when I came back from New York and started to dismantle my life. At that time, physically, I let go of all of the aspects of my old life. I stopped doing the events. I moved across the country. I had a whole new group of friends. But I didn't realize that I had to also let go of those aspects of me that kept me playing small. I had to stop people pleasing. I had to stop worrying about what other people thought. I had to not give a fuck about what I should do. And I had to start doing what was right for me. And that moment with my astrologer was a big moment when I chose to listen to what was right for me instead of listening to what other people thought. It took me taking that leap and going all in on my business for me to face all of the blocks that had caused me to bend and contort my vision during my photography business. Now, had I listened to my astrologer, yeah, maybe I would have had an easier time in 3 years, but I wouldn't have broken through those issues. I wouldn't have broken through them by now. Probably not. Because overcoming challenge is one of the things that can expand your success zone. And if I had waited those 3 years, my success zone would have still been small instead of getting bigger and bigger and bigger and increasing my capacity to hold more success, to create more, be more of who I truly am, and put out in the world what I am meant to put out. You see, until the pressure is on, you can't see what you're made of. You don't get the opportunity to choose you and your vision over what everybody else thinks you should do. Like Gale in the Fountainhead. Had the pressure not been on for him, he would have never had that opportunity to choose. And sure, he buckled, but he grew stronger. He withstood a lot before he buckled. And the next time an opportunity like that arises, the next time the pressure is on and there is this pivot choice moment, he may just choose to become the wolf, to become his own trailblazer. So to be a trailblazer, to be an innovator, to be a change maker, you must be willing to start before you're ready. Jump, even though you don't have it all figured out, even though everybody around you is telling you that you're crazy and to not do it. Because it wasn't just my astrologer saying, don't do that. It was my family too, the people who loved me the most, but they couldn't see what I could see. They couldn't feel what I could feel. All they could feel and see were their own limitations and their own fears. That myth that you need to have it all figured out and planned out before you start, it's just a myth. Clarity comes from the doing, not from thinking and planning. Yes, have a plan and be prepared for the plan to fall apart, because there's always going to be things that you could have never prepared for. Opportunities that if you're too stuck to the plan and having to do it the right way that everybody says you should do it, if you're too stuck with that, you will lose so many opportunities that will bring you so much closer, so much faster, and so much more of what you want. And greatness, it takes practice. But you can't plan it meticulously and expect that you're going to do it great the first time. Mastery comes in the doing. It comes when the rubber meets the road. So I want to leave you with this. These things that you must hold on to if you're going to trailblaze your life, your vision, if you're going to be the person who creates the life that only you can create and receive the gifts in the world that are truly meant for you. I leave you with these things that you want to work toward, these things that you need to be able to do. You need to trust your vision and yourself. Just because nobody has done it doesn't mean it can't be done. A long time ago, people believed that it was impossible to run a 4-minute mile. They said that a human being could not do it. They even had these ideas of how it maybe could be done if the weather was just right and the wind was blowing this particular way at this particular speed and it would be this type of person, but it still was impossible. That's what they said. A 4-minute mile. And then Roger Bannister came along and he did it. And that shattered everything. It shattered what everybody thought to be possible. Just because nobody has done it doesn't mean it can't be done. And these days, people run a 4-minute mile all the time. As soon as it was shown to be possible, more people started to do it. So, yes, you can be the first. You must also embrace the discomfort and learn to shut down that noise in your head. Resistance isn't a stop sign, it's information. Learn to read it. Be able to be uncomfortable. The path not traveled is going to require a machete sometimes. It's going to require some extra work, some trial and error that most people aren't willing to do. And that's not comfortable. But what it leads to is things that you create that only you can create. And that's powerful. And the final thing is to start messy. Just be willing to get messy. And that means you're going to have to let people see you fall. You're going to have to be able to stand naked on stage and let everybody see your flaws. And you have to not give a fuck. Because clarity is going to come from the action. And when you do something for the first time and it's never been done, it's going to be messy. And you're probably not going to do it perfect and do it right that very first time. So being willing to get messy is so important. And you can't let what other people say and think derail you. And how do you do all of that? One of the ways, and probably the fastest, most effective way, is to learn how to expand your success zone. I have a guide out there that will give you some tips in expanding your success zone. But more importantly, when you sign up for this guide, you will get access to a video that shows you exactly how to expand your success zone. So you can grab this guide at BeTheWolfGift.com. Open up your browsers, type in BeTheWolfGift.com and grab the guide. It's the 3 secrets the business gurus never talk about. Mastering these 3 secrets will expand your success zone. It will give you more freedom and more ease in being the wolf and trailblazing your own path. And like I said, it will give you instant access to a video that will show you how to expand your success zone even further. Thank you for listening to my PSA on trailblazing. And I want you all to remember that the world doesn't need another copycat. It needs you to be the wolf. It needs you to be you. And it needs your vision, your innovation, your way of doing things. The question isn't whether you're ready to be a trailblazer. The question is, are you ready to stop hiding from who you really are? Well, are you? We'll see you next time on Be the Wolf.